Hey everybody, welcome back. So this is a little video, again on March 31st, 2 in 1 day, it's amazing. And we're going to be talking about just some general assignment updates for the course and also paper 3, the assignment. So general updates, quizzes are now discussion boards. Treat those discussion boards like you are in a team quiz, like you would be in class. Talk to each other. Follow the directions, make sure you put your own post up, but also respond to somebody else in a thoughtful way. I'm trying to give you guys several days to do those so that you can jump on and off. You're not just doing it once and then not going back and looking at it again. It's a discussion board. We're supposed to talk to each other. So let's try to treat it that way, and we'll also get some quiz grades in the process. Journals haven't changed. If you were handwriting your journal, you can still turn it in at the end of the semester by taking photos and texting them to me or emailing them to me. Just let me know, how you plan to do that. If you've been typing it this entire time, then you can just send the document to me at the end of the semester. So nothing should change there for you. Papers are all via email now. Unfortunately, we can't see each other face to face, so we have to do things via email. But you can schedule WebEx and Zoom meetings with me anytime. I'm making myself available live from Monday through Thursday, noon to 4. 1 to 4, but usually noon to 4. If you want to schedule a meeting with me sometime in that range so we can talk face to face about anything you're struggling with, I'd be glad to do that. Or you can text me or call me as well. My number is in the video I posted to the homepage of your course. So you can check that out. So all your feedback will be done via email from me. And then any feedback you seek out from your peers, you could also do that if you wanted to. But that's all I have for general assignment updates. If you want to take a look at your paper 3 assignment, you'll find that under assignment descriptions, conveniently located on Blackboard. And this unit is about fiction. And so we've been talking about literary criticism throughout the entire semester, and that's what you dealt with especially heavily in paper 2. The format for this paper is the same. I'd like it to be 4 full pages plus a works cited page if at all possible. And again, all of this information that I'm telling you now can be found in the assignment description under the assignment descriptions link on Blackboard. You know the drill, MLA, 12-point font, Times New Roman. The objective for this paper says for paper 1, you honed your skills of analysis by looking at literature through a historical lens. And then for paper 2, you expanded upon those skills by choosing a particular literary theory or approach through which to analyze a play. For paper 3, you are to synthesize how others approach a work of literature, and from there determine where you stand on methods of analysis. It says we seek to learn about others' opinions on an issue so we can better form our own opinions. This is a vital skill to learn that is applicable to countless other situations in your life. So what you want to do is choose a work of fiction, either a short story that we read in the fiction section, or you can choose a novel, but you need to discuss it with me ahead of time to make sure that I've read it, because if I haven't, I may not have time. So we want to make sure that we're working within those parameters. Then find at least 3 scholarly print sources that address the work you've chosen to study or that discuss other works of literature that the author has written. So you want to choose a story or a novel, perhaps, that has some critical literature that already exists out there about it. And so that's why, if you pick something from the anthology, your Norton anthology, chances are you're going to find some critical literature out there in the world about that story. Because it's been included in the anthology, it's considered to some extent a classic or noteworthy piece of fiction. So that's going to be your best bet to kind of ensure that there is a scholarly conversation about what you've chosen to write about. Just because a scholarly conversation doesn't already exist doesn't mean that you can't still do this research. It would just be slightly more complicated. If that is a path you choose for this journey, then we will take it together and cross the bridges of conflict and any roadblocks as we go. That was a really weird extended metaphor that just went awry. So I'm going to move on. Be sure to explain to your reader what or whom you're arguing against by clearly stating where other scholars' approaches fail or do not go far enough. So essentially what you're looking at is you're saying, okay, here's the scholarly conversation that's happening about this piece of literature or about this author's work in general. Here's where I agree with it, but here's where it doesn't quite go far enough as far as explaining what the meaning of the piece is and its worth. why it's still meaningful to a modern 21st century audience. Or you say, here's what these scholars are saying within this conversation, and here's why I disagree with that. Now, you don't necessarily have to agree and disagree with all of them. You would essentially just present all of the research in kind of a Rogerian format, where you present all your research first, and then you talk about what you think about that research. So in the first part of the paper, you could essentially do that. You could just say, okay, here's what all these other scholars say. And then you can choose to answer to each one of them, or you can choose to answer to just one and make most of your argument in the paper about that. It's really up to you. You do have some tips down here as well. Read as many scholarly resources as you can before you start writing this paper. And then you also have some example approaches and a reminder not to use internet sources. Your thesis statement is due on the 9th. And I really look forward to either talking to you via WebEx or Zoom, and of course via email between now and then. Talk to you soon, guys. Thanks.